It's time to take a look inside ECSU Mighty Vikings football. Welcome to Viking Coaches Show with Marcus Hilliard on WRVS 89.9.
Yes, indeed. Viking Coaches Show is back here on WRVS 89.9. Yours truly, Clay Mercer. And, of course, sitting across from me is ECSU football head coach Marcus Hilliard. Coach, a wonderful weekend in Rocky Mount. We're going to talk all about it, but you got to be feeling good right now. And you talked in the last show. I want to jump on this right off top. You talked about momentum that the team had going into the game, and people will say, well, what do you mean? The tough setback against Catawba, where's the momentum? But explain a little bit about what you were saying about the momentum leading into Saturday's game.
Yeah, we talked about just having that momentum and coming into the Down East Classic, especially dropping one against Catawba that we felt great about. But the guys not letting that linger and coming in and knowing that we had a job to do.
Yeah.
and they really performed. And of course, that gives us momentum going into this next game. Just being able to get a win under your belt is always great, man. And, just proud of the guys of how they came out and played.
Yeah, they worked hard, man, and you say it feels good for everybody. That's the team, obviously, the student body, everybody just feeling good after a win. The 26th Annual Down East Viking Football Classic in Rocky Mount. Cloudy day in Rocky Mount. They were talking about rain, and I said, well, last year it was like a monsoon out there. It was just a lot of rain. The rain was just off and on, so it wasn't that bad. Did it kind of affect, though, your game planning, especially on the offensive side when you're thinking about, okay, rain could put a damper on what you may want to do out there?
Well, we had a game plan, just in case it rained because of what we went through last year. Like you said, it was a monsoon. But, it didn't rain as much as what we thought. So we didn't have to get to that plan, the rain plan. But, just we had a plan. We had a plan in place. But thankfully, the rain held off and, we were able to do some of the things that, we really wanted to do from an offensive perspective, and that's just run the football.
Yeah, and I saw the team when they came off the bus, when they arrived at the athletic complex and they made their way out into the field. I saw energy, but I saw focus. I mean, the guys, that some of them had their headsets in, they were just focused. And just talk about the practices leading up to Saturday. Pretty good practices, I'm guessing, from the team.
Yeah, it started last Monday, man. I came in, I told you we had just practiced, and they felt like, we let one slip away, and we didn't want to do that. So we just had to readjust our focus and concentrate on some of the things that we got wrong during Catawba and kind of not make those same mental mistakes. And, we had a great week of practice. Everybody was focused. And plus it was Down East. In Down East sometimes you could get caught up in the hoopla. But they didn't let that affect them. And, just proud of how they responded.
Yeah, it was a lot of events at the Down East Viking Football Classic, but the main event was Saturday. And when they announced the team and y'all ran out there onto the field, you and ECSU Chancellor Dr. Carrie Dixon led the charge. The feeling of that, I mean, she came out with the championship, and it just had to be a fun feeling for everybody.
Yeah, before they had the Fan Fest the night before, and Chancellor Dixon, she put some pressure on you. She expects to win, and, we told her we got her. And, we had talked about before maybe a couple weeks ago with her coming out with the team, holding up the championship belt. And, I thought it was great for her.
Yeah.
I liked it. And, it went viral on social media, man. So that was something. But, she's all in, man.
Yeah.
She is all in, and just grateful for her to get her first Down East Classic win.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously the first three quarters of the game, they were eventful, but both teams were held scoreless. They had a donut up there on both sides. Some called it a defensive battle, but there were a few instances where ECSU could have put some points on the board in that first half. I wanted you, from your perspective, just to give us your thoughts on the first half overall for the team.
We had opportunities, and now, we always talk about, I think we've been talking about this for a year, man, just being able to get over that hump, learning how to win.
Yes.
We did have some opportunities, especially some field goals that, we weren't able to connect on, but it showed promise. We always, like I say, we look at the positive. We were able to rush the football effectively, and we got it down into the red zone, and, now we got to be able to finish, either with a touchdown or getting a field goal, but being able to put points on the board. So, that's the focus for this week. We get into the red zone, we got to finish.
Yeah. You talked a little bit about it in our first broadcast about being able to light up the scoreboard a little bit, and the zero uncharacteristic for ECSU so far, especially from what we've seen this season. I always wonder what you say to the team at halftime, depending on how the first half goes. When you walk into that locker room, what was your message to the team?
Straightforward, just like Catawba. I said, listen, we're going to score, and they won't score any more points. They won't score any points. They didn't score any points, and we're going to score, and we're going to shut them out, and we're going to win this ball game. Yeah. And I went to the offense, and I went to the defense, and told them the same exact thing, and it played out just like I said.
Oh, yeah. And I want to come back to the defense very quickly. They have to do their job, obviously, to put a donut on the other side. And, Tracy White Jr. finished with 7 tackles overall, followed by Travion Freshwater and Jermaine Smith with 6. Talk about their efforts and explain to the listeners a little bit about Code Blue. I think some people see it. They may not understand what it means. So just talk a little bit about that.
So Code Blue is an attitude, and it's the mantra of defense. No matter what, Code Blue, spot the ball. No matter if it's a big play, no matter if we get an interception or turnover, Code Blue. And and that, like I said, Coach Castillo just implemented that attitude in the defense. And, no matter what happens, Code Blue, spot the ball, let's go. And that's the attitude that every defensive player has. And, we've even implemented the turnover belt. When we get the turnover, you can see the guys. I'm sure we had 4 turnovers in the game. So you can see those guys. They love it, man. It's a feeling, man. I need to get that belt, and the guys are fighting to get that belt, even during practice, but in the game, that's the spotlight, man. So that's Code Blue. And, Tracy White, he didn't play the first half because remember the targeting penalty in the Catawba game. So he still ended up with the most tackles, and he only played a half. Just those guys stepping up, man. Freshwater, of course, going against his brother and his other Northeastern counterparts that played for St. Aug. It was a good game for him. I asked his mom, I said, who did you go for? After the game, she didn't say nothing. But just seeing those guys come through, and Jermaine Smith, he didn't play really a lot of snaps against Catawba, but played the entire game this game and had a lot of production for us. So just seeing those guys buy into the Code Blue and just giving it all, man, it was something to see.
I love it when I see a turnover or interception and they come to the sideline, they have the belt. It is a prideful thing. And, where did the belt come from? Who created the belt? Who brought the belt to the team?
You know what's so crazy? Chancellor Dixon texted me this summer, was like, Coach, what do we have? As far as like she saw some other teams had some things. And I told her I'm gonna come up with something. And Coach Castillo wanted the belt. We have a battle axe as well.
Yes.
So we hadn't bought that out yet. Yeah. But we got some props to do some stuff. But Coach Castillo bought that out, and he designed it, man. I'll have to bring it in.
Yeah, please.
And show you, man.
I had a chance to look at it. I want to put it on my shoulder, too.
It's pretty cool, man, and it's heavy. It's like a real live belt, man. But that was just something, Chancellor Dixon had an idea, and then we just kind of, went with it.
Yeah, I love it.
We used it, and
When are we bringing out the axe? Is that a homecoming? When are we doing this now?
So I got something special for homecoming. Maybe.
Okay.
We got a new look that we're gonna bring out for homecoming. I'm not. They got to come to the game to see it, though. They got to come to the game to see it. But I'm gonna really shock the fans. It's something that we hadn't done at Elizabeth City before.
Oh wow! Okay, something brand new. That's a little tidbit. I'm gonna try to get it out of him. I'm going to try to get it out of him next week before we head into this homecoming game. We'll see if I can get the exclusive here on Viking Coaches Show. Clay Mercer here with ECSU football head coach Marcus Hilliard. And, Coach, we talked about the 0-0 all the way up to the fourth quarter, but it was all ECSU in that fourth quarter as quarterback Chase Williams sprinted 38 yards into the end zone for the first score of the game. Chase didn't have his best game, especially coming off of Catawba. I know he wanted to kind of get right back into it, but the bottom line is 0 interceptions. A rushing touchdown. It had to make you feel good about what he was able to kind of get back out there and just get his confidence where he wants it to be.
Yeah, we wanted to make him more of a game manager. Mm-hmm. Not trying to – we said it last week, not trying to put the game on his shoulders where he has to go out and be a hero. So wanted him to manage the game in which he did. But you got to you got to look at it. We had 200 yards, 200-something yards rushing.
Yes.
So he didn't have to throw the ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got Zeke Duxon, man. Like, hey, I don't have to throw the ball.
That's
just give it to him, man.
Yes.
You know, when you have a great running game, you just keep going with it. So that takes pressure off a quarterback as well, man. And then that was a 4th and 8 call. You know, we're in the plus territory, and at that point, I just said, man, we gotta do something, man. This is 0-0. It's full quarter, and the coaches was like, coach, we don't know, and I just said, you know what, let's do it. 4th and 8, and that was actually a pass play that they had defended well.
Yes.
He broke out and he scored. I didn't even know he scored. I had to ask the OC up top. I said, did he score? He was like, yeah, he scored. So that kind of broke the game open. So it was good for him to just be able to manage the game and not have the pressure of he has to win the game. And our rushing attack boded well for Saturday.
His game management was really on display. I think he just let the game come to him. He didn't have to worry about the passing so much because the rushing game did so well. And you know, when he sprinted in there, I didn't even see the lane at first. I know the play had broke down, and I said, oh, what is he going to do? And he used his legs. When you have a player that's skillful, obviously he wants to, step up and win the game for you, which is kind of what we dealt with Catawba, but it was a different side of him on Saturday, and it was a good thing for the team.
Yeah. And I think he understood. He understood, just not having to take the deep shot or whatever. And Chase is a smart guy, man. And he understood, and like I said, the running game took a lot of pressure off of him. It took a lot of pressure off of him. We were able to get, like I said, over 200 yards rushing, man. That can any quarterback, young or experienced, if you rush him like that, man, that takes a lot of pressure off of you.
Very much so.
I don't have to throw the ball. I just give it. I just make sure I'm keeping that mesh right. That's it. That is all.
ECSU cornerback Jalen Nicholson's pick six, followed by the PIT by Darius Satterfield, made the score 13-0. At this moment, I'm in the booth. Everybody in the booth is like, really, in that second half, it was like, okay, the first team that scores is going to have really an advantage to win this game. Thankfully, ECSU got that first score, but when it got to 13-0, it felt like the game was in hand at that point. Did you all feel that way on the sideline, even though there was, a few more minutes still left?
Yeah, I think we felt like that. I want to say we had about 8 minutes left. And our offense was able, we do a thing in practice where we go to our 4-minute offense. And we executed our 4-minute offense very, very well.
Nice.
We had 8 minutes left, and they got the clock down to about 3 minutes. We went forward, and they got it back, but defense was playing so solid. We was like, even if they do score, we still had a lead. So I just like when the plan comes together, man. We practice these things in practice. We had to utilize this plan in the game, and it worked, man. And then the same thing from a defensive perspective. We got the 2-minute drill. We're up. They can't score. We practice these situations. So, I like I said, I just like when the plan comes together, man. And, kudos to the coaches for, executing the game plan.
Yeah. You talked about the defense, and I want to keep going back to that because they had to work hard. There was many stars on Saturday. I had to send congratulations really out to ECSU senior running back Zakaria Adams-Duxon. He picked up the Food Line Offensive Back of the Week honors, 32 carries, 168 total yards. It's really just a fine effort for him on Saturday.
Yeah, man. And if you can remember, we got a 74-yarder call back.
That's correct.
So he would have had more than that. But, man, Zeke, great guy, man. Great guy, real quiet, and it was his day. It was his day on Saturday, and he did well. And a lot of guys did well. Jalen Nicholson, you talked about him earlier, man. Getting that pick six, man. He's just one of our leaders on defense, and to see him finally make a play, man. He hadn't really played here much, just due to seniors or people in front of him, and now is his time, man. And he made the most of it, man. And just proud of him. And even the defense, man, getting a shutout. I told Coach Castillo, it has been done before. I've done it. It has been done before, Coach. More than one time. I just want to put that out there for everybody. Don't think it has been done before. But, to get a shutout, man, I don't care who it is. That is a tough feat.
Yeah,
man.
it really is.
It's sort of like a no-hitter, man, in baseball.
It is.
It's rare. But just grateful for those guys, man, because if they don't score, they can't win.
That's correct.
And that's what it is. If they don't score, they can't win.
That's correct.
You know, so it's a good effort all around from the defense.
Yeah, like I said, I wanted to bring it back to the defense for that right there. How much pride did the defense have when they saw the donut and the game is ended? That's got to, like, for everybody on the defensive side, that's got to make them feel really, really good and know what they can do. Game in and game out, they have the ability to do this.
Yeah, that's that cold blue, man. Mm-hmm. Cold blue, spot the ball. We're going to do this. No matter what happens from an offense or special team standpoint, man, we're going to hold it down. And that is the attitude that those guys have, man. And, you know, you know, everybody believes. Mm-hmm. Everybody on defense believes. The coaches, the players, everybody believe that, man. And for them to be able to, you know, say, you know what, we're going to win this game. It's on our back. We're going to win the game. We're going to give the offense an opportunity to get that score. And we're not going to let St. Aug score. Yeah. And that was big for us.
Yeah. Obviously, not everything was perfect. There were a couple of Saturdays ago, we talked about ECSU getting its first field goal in maybe a couple of years, getting it through the uprights. And Rocky Mount 0 for 2 for field goal opportunities, if I can remember correctly. I know how important 3 points can be to finish off a drive. It can really help you get some wins. Any concerns coming out of Saturday's contest, you know, specifically really on the special team side?
Not any concerns. Again, you got to go back. We praised Hancock game 1. Still a true freshman. You know, I think we missed 3.
Okay.
I think it was 3.
I was looking at it. When I looked at the stats, it said 2.
Yeah, I think we missed 3. Maybe it was 2. Mm-hmm. It was 3.
Got the SID. Got the SID right here. So he'll tell us what's up. So it's 3. Okay.
Find out when that last shutout was, Jordan, too. I want to say it was against
Go ahead and check that before we finish this one.
I got my stat guy here, man. But I if I can remember, it was 3.
Okay.
And, you know, he's young. So if you saw me in the game, I just went up to him and was like, look, bro, I believe in you. You know, and just keep empowering him like, listen, don't worry about it. Yeah. Don't worry about it. When we scored the last one, we did give Satterfield a chance to kick the extra point, but we still got confidence in him, man. We still believe. And like I said, we did our little deal at practice, man, today, pressure kicks, and they had to prove it. So we keep practicing. Yeah. You know, you don't give up. You just keep practicing, keep working. You'll get another opportunity. That's what I told them, man. Just, you know, kickers are a little different, though. And they built and they're wired different. But just got to keep them, you know, focused. And that's what we're able to do, and that's what we're doing for this week.
I know he's looking forward to the next opportunity, and I expect bigger things from him as these games come along. Winston-Salem coming up this Saturday. But before we get to that, let's put the cap on the Down East Viking Football Classic. A big win for ECSU. Chancellor Dixon picks up her first Down East Viking Football Classic. But the celebration, as we were talking about before we went on air, it came and went. The weekend is done, and now it's time to get ready for Winston-Salem State.
Yeah, we're done with it, man. We're already on to Winston.
Yeah.
We were just sitting here discussing and just talking about, you know, the game dynamics. It goes from 1 o'clock to a 6 o'clock game, so we're already in Winston-Salem State mode. Yeah. You know, we're done with the Down East, man. We were done with that actually yesterday. we got the 2D, we got the roster from Winston. We full go on Winston-Salem.
I love it. Final question on the Down East: who has the trophy? The Chancellor Dixon said she was going to have the trophy. I didn't know who took it. So where is it at right now? So I got to tell Chancellor Dixon, I have it, but I'm going to deliver it to her office this week. I told her she can have it, though. Okay. I'm going to get it to her. So it's in my office. I don't know how it ended up there. I go in my office. It's in the trophy case at my office. So I got Chancellor Dixon, if you're listening, I will bring that over this week for you. Sounds good. We have the trophy. We'll take care of that. We'll make sure everybody can see it. But, Chancellor, it'll be coming to you soon. We thank you all for joining us for Viking Coaches Show. ECSU invades Winston-Salem this Saturday. It's going to be a fun time. We'll talk about that matchup and also give you some more information. It's all coming up next on Viking Coaches Show.
Do you have a question or comment for Coach Hilliard? Call into the show, 855-899-WRVS.
You're ready to become a scholar. It's time for you to earn your bachelor's or master's degree. At Elizabeth City State University, we're proud of our strong academic programs. We offer 28 bachelor degrees and 4 master's degrees. ECSU also offers flexible online courses to help you achieve your goals. Start the process today. Call 800-347-3278 or find us online at ecsu.edu.
From the football field to the radio, this is Viking Coaches Show on WRVS 89.9.
Right back at it, ECSU football head coach Marcus Hilliard here with Clay Mercer, Viking Coaches Show. I want to speak about the volleyball team. They went 1-3 at the Chowan Volleyball Tournament, defeating Chowan on Saturday for their lone win. The reigning CIAA champs return to action this weekend at a tournament in South Carolina. You can get more details about volleyball, football, basketball, and bowling, and everything else we do here at ECSU online at ECSUVikings.com. Now, the Vikings football team travels to Winston-Salem this Saturday to take on the Rams, who will be searching for their first win of the season, coming off a 14-26 loss to Ohio Dominican University. Another team, coach, that will be desperate to get their first win. The Vikings have to kind of find a way to match that energy walking into Winston-Salem this week.
Yeah, you know, they had 2 tough opponents, like we talked about, man, and it's going to be, you know, to date, it's probably going to be the best team that we've seen. So it'll show us something. I think we're both evenly matched. So it's going to come down to execution. Who can execute? Who doesn't make that that penalty? You know, who's going to make the play? Yeah. You know, and that's what it's going to come down to. And you know, they're a good team. They're a good team, and they've played 2 good opponents, and you know, they do some good things. I think Coach Massey has those guys going in the right direction. So we're gonna have to come out and play our best game to date.
Yeah. You talked about this game. Kickoff for this one is set for 6 p.m. That is late in the day for ECSU. Really late in the day for any football team, especially in the CIAA. Do you prepare the team any differently than when you play that 1 o'clock game, or even really a 4 o'clock game? This one's at 6. It's a little bit different.
Yeah, we'll go through the same preparation. I think now it's just the wait time. You know, when you're traveling on the road, you just have to move a little differently. The guys will be prepared. You know, we practice at 4 p.m. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, afternoon deal won't really change anything. And the other good thing about that practicing, we're playing at 6. It won't be hot. You know, it's kind of hot at the Down East.
Oh, that's a good call.
You know, we don't need our Misting fans. So it won't be hot, man. So, you know, guys like that. They like, yes. All our guys we told today was like, yes, it's not going to be hot. Nice. So that's a plus behind it, man. Yeah, so I think that's a good thing about playing at 6. But from a travel perspective, man, it's just more things you got to do and prep for from a coaching standpoint, but the guys will be fine.
Gotcha. And when you talk about, obviously, it'll be a little bit cooler when they play, hopefully, on Saturday. But just talk about the overall, as far as the team goes, the fitness of the team. I always think about, you know, could they get worn down? Where do you look at their level of fitness right now? Do you feel like they're in really, really good shape as far as being able to get out there and from first quarter all the way to the fourth, you know, just kind of go full bore with no big issues?
Yeah, I think we're okay. You know, we've had every element just from a weather standpoint that you could deal with. Yes. It's been 100 degrees here. It's been 60 degrees. It's been raining. It's been no clouds. It's been cloudy. I mean, in Elizabeth City, you just go through every aspect of the weather. So I think from that standpoint, and, you know, we still do our lifting. We're still lifting during the season. Nice. That's what helps us. We make sure we maintain and get that lifting in so we can, you know, go through a long season as such. And we're pretty much healthy. You know, we haven't had any season-ending injuries. So just thankful for that, man, praying that we don't. And so, yeah, I think from a physical fitness standpoint, we're okay.
Yeah. When you look at Winston-Salem, obviously the football team coming off 2 games. I always worry about the injury reports, and I didn't get this from you last week, but talk a little bit about if any injuries, any nagging injuries, anything that may have came off, even of Catawba that we may need to know about heading into Saturday.
No major injuries on my. I mean, of course, the occasional guys are banged up. You know, sprains, high ankle sprains. Our wide receiver Ian Edwards, he played against Catawba. We kind of set him out. He could have played against St. Aug, but we wanted to give him another week of rest, so he'll be a full go for Winston. So we're pretty healthy from a team standpoint. You know, of course, we got our nagging injuries, but everybody will be ready to go on Saturday.
First true road game for the team. And I know Rocky Mount is a home game, but it's still not at Roebuck. How do you prepare for the first true away game where there's going to be more red in the stands as opposed to blue and white?
Yeah, I know our fans. We have the Greensboro Winston alumni chapter.
Correct.
They'll be there to support. But you know, the good thing about going into the Down East is we still had to travel. Yeah. So we treated it just as if we were traveling to a Winston or a Bowie. So the guys kind of understand how we travel. So they already got a dose of it last week, just being able to leave at a certain time and we arrive in, and just how the whole operation goes from a travel standpoint. So definitely not worried from that standpoint. We got a taste of that this past Saturday, and we should be fine with that as well.
Sometimes it energizes the team when they know that they can go into another stadium and beat that team and make their whole fan base feel bad. I hope that's what the Vikings are able to do this Saturday, as we hope to gain our 3rd straight victory over the Rams of Winston-Salem State this Saturday. Game time again set for 6 p.m. It'll be their faculty and staff day. So we've had hours, and you saw the energy there. I'm sure it's going to be some good energy in Winston-Salem. So I'm sure the atmosphere is going to be outstanding. You can learn more about this game online at ECSUVikings.com. This is usually the time where I kind of give Coach Hilliard a little bit of time to talk to the Vikings, and I know some of you all are listening and still excited after the Rocky Mount game, but now it's time to get ready for Winston-Salem. Coach, you can talk to them right now and get them ready for this Saturday's contest. Yeah,
this is gonna be a test for us. Definitely need all the fans. I know people have, you know, even some alums, some young alums, class of 17, that hit me up and like, man, we want to support you, Coach, and I'm just pleading with everybody, come out and support us. The guys feed off that energy. You know, I tell guys about that all the time. They feed off energy and would love the fans to come out there and support us. And like you said, man, trying to make this 3 straight over Winston, that's a big feat, man, for us. And, you know, we just empower everybody to come to the game and support us.
Yeah, it's going to be an outstanding atmosphere. Again, we thank you all for joining us for Viking Coaches Show. If you missed out on any parts of today's show, you want to catch up on past shows, you can go to the WRVS-89 Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel and listen anytime. Coach Hilliard, thank you so much. Good luck this Saturday, and we'll talk all about it next Monday.
Definitely. I appreciate that.